Chapter 11. The blessedness of loving the Lord. After these things God tested Abraham, and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. Then Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the ass. I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, My father, he said. Here I am, my son, he said. Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went, both of them together. When they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Then Abraham put forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the lad, or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing that you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram, caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, The Lord Will Provide, as it is said to this day, On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven, and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this, and not withheld your son, your only son, I will indeed bless you, and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. And by your descendants shall all the nations of the earth bless themselves, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 through 19. God's process of testing. The Lord is constantly testing people for promotion. Those who pass his tests are promoted, whereas those who fail remain where they are, or they are demoted. The promotion is primarily a matter of great intimacy with him. It could also result in the one who is promoted being given a greater opportunity to serve him. Abraham had known the Lord and walked with him for many years. He had matured. He had truly come to a deep personal knowledge of the Lord. He had made much progress. He had grown very much in character. He had put on much of the character of the Lord. He had more or less fulfilled the call of God on his life. He had held nothing back from the Lord. Even when the Lord had demanded that he send his son Ishmael away, he had followed the pathway of obedience. Now he was up against another test, and it was his final examination. But Abraham did not know it. God did not send him any previous warning to ask him to prepare. The test came upon him suddenly. God will bring each one of his children to a final place of testing. He will not send any previous warning, and there will be nothing to tell them how serious the test is.